Hey y'all, so we are going to continue on with my story. And my cat is being uber super cuddly, so I don't know what she's doing. She might be in and out of a video frame. I'm just going to try to keep her away from the camera though. Hey y'all, so we are going to continue on with my story. You know, it's really crazy because I thought that this story would be quick and easy. It was not quick, it's not easy. And I also thought that this story would, I don't know, like looking back on it, I thought that it would make me feel like I can be understood more easily and people can really understand my story, but I don't know if like I get in my own way or what, but it's like the way that I tell it is so confusing and so I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm just going to continue on. I do know that I didn't expect the deep healing that comes from telling my story. I did think that I would be able to tell my story, release it, and let it go finally and move on with my life. Honestly, that was one of my goals, was to be able to just tell my story, get it out there, and move on with my own life. But I'm seeing that it is very, very healing to tell my story, but I can't let go that easily. And I don't know, it is what it is. But anyway, where was I with my story? And please excuse my kitty cat. But okay, so my baby girl had just been born, and she was born 2 weeks before my 21st birthday. And my 21st birthday, because my birthday is the day after Christmas, so my 21st birthday happened to be on a Sunday. And in my state at that time, you could not buy liquor on a Sunday. And that was the big thing about turning 21, is you can now buy liquor. And yeah, so I was not able to do that. Plus, I had just had a baby and I was like so dedicated to my baby. I loved her so, so much. I loved spending time with her. And I was breastfeeding, and so I didn't need any liquor, but I did go to a liquor store and I bought myself some cigarettes on that day. And I told the lady it's my birthday. So that's how I celebrated my 21st birthday, which I'm very happy about. But yeah, and oh goodness, so I got to live with my mom for the first 6 months of my baby girl's life. And Zach didn't want anything to do with me anymore, and I didn't want anything to do with him. I was ready to move on with my life. And hello, Salem. Okay, so I decided to move back to the city where my other college was. My dad lived down there, and he said I could move in with him. So I was living with my father and getting ready to go back to college, and I needed a new job now because I no longer had my job at the computer lab. So I started looking for jobs at daycares because that's where I wanted to work. And I also applied for, you know, all the government assistance that I could apply for, which made them want to get a DNA test done. And so I was like, yeah, it would be Zach. And I didn't worry about it. You know, they said that they would get a hold of him and there's nothing that I needed to do. And I was like, okay, cool. So I just moved on with my life. I got a job at a daycare and I started going to college, which was a lot harder than before. It no longer came easy to me. It was a lot harder to concentrate, a lot harder to get the schoolwork done, and it had never been hard my whole life, except for whenever I first was pregnant. I just, I didn't sweat it really, and I did start. Well, my brother, he got a girlfriend, and he had a girlfriend, and we got along really well, and she got pregnant, and we decided to go in together to get a trailer. And this was a 2-bedroom trailer, so one end was him and his girlfriend, the other end was me and my baby girl. And it was pretty cool at first. It was really cool at first. My brother got a job working with Larry. Larry had a house moving business, and him and my brother would move people. People would pay them to move them. And so they were going all over the place, and my brother would be home at all kinds of crazy hours. And I started working for Larry again in the black market, and this time, this was like my favorite time. I wasn't necessarily selling, although I would sell. I had to hook up, but what I would do more during this time was I would work on their farm, where I would go and I would be clipping and snipping and stuff like that. And I found this funny because during this time I had gotten into kind of an argument with a family member at Thanksgiving holiday type thing. And they were saying that, because I was like saying, what's wrong with marijuana? What's wrong with being a weed smoker? I'm a hardcore one. I don't know if they necessarily know that, but they know that I like it. And I was asking them, what's wrong with that? And they were telling me about how you don't know. No, they were talking about how there's really nothing wrong with it, but you actually don't know where it came from. And you could be supporting, other countries, cartels that, and they could lace it with anything, and you don't know where it came from. And it kind of made me giggle because, I know exactly where it's coming from. In fact, I know where it's grown. I know the whole process. And if it was legal, then it could be done in a very beautiful way, where the stuff that she was saying that is real and does happen from time to time, but that could be done away with. And instead, you consider me inhuman because you would dehumanize me. You would lock me in a cage because I work on a farm with plants and I trim them down and, prepare them. That was my favorite. Still to this day, that would be my dream job. If I could do it legally, trim and take care of marijuana plants, that's the dream, right? But anyway, during that time, that's what I would do. And, there were some people that knew it, and, it wasn't very big of a deal. And also, rewinding, whenever I first was staying with my dad always had people coming and going. And I met a new couple. I met a couple who had a little daughter who was my daughter's age, a baby, and they also had a son who was 2. And their name was Brianna and Mark. And Brianna and Mark were really cool. They were a beautiful couple. And hello, kitty kitty. So I became really good friends with Brianna and Mark. I started hanging out with Brianna all the time. She was all the time over there because we were both taking care of our baby girls. And we became really, really good friends. And during this time, my brother and his girlfriend, well, I really didn't get along well with her because basically I was gone all the time. I was either in class or I was at work at the daycare or I was on the farm. And then I would come back and she would expect me to do the dishes, but she was home all day long. She was home all day long with her baby, or not with her baby, but pregnant. And my brother was gone because he was the one paying the bills for his side. I was the one paying the bills for my side. And she was there all the time. And she never would do the dishes. And it caused arguments with us. And a lot of crazy stuff happened. And it didn't last very long. She ended up moving out. She called her mom, had her mom come and get her. And they took like everything. And I mean, not like everything like Zach did. But they took pots and pans and stuff. Some were mine, but her mom was like, "These are ours," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever, you can have them." But yeah, and of course my brother left at that time, and so I couldn't afford full to be able to pay the bills full, and so I asked for Brianna and Mark to move in, and we were all living there, and it was a lot of fun at first. It really was a lot of fun. And we would have barbecues, and I don't know, it really was a whole lot of fun. We would just hang out. One thing though, if I'm gonna be honest, I guess I should, is I developed a really, really deep crush on Mark. And I didn't necessarily think that that was right, but I had. And so I would try to stay away from him a lot. And Brianna had so much trust in us. And she would leave us alone like so many times. And we didn't do anything for a while. We kind of we developed this. I tried to be like, like his sister, brother sister type of relationship. We would play video games together, and I don't know, it was a lot of fun. And I just tried to take care of the kids and work at the daycare. One thing about working at the daycare, I thought the whole reason why I wanted to work at the daycare was because I wanted to have a work with my baby there, because I didn't want her away. Unfortunately, my baby girl was just fine, and she's she's such a trooper. She'll go anywhere with me and just enjoy life until I'm with another baby. This little girl was so jealous. So jealous. And it was crazy how jealous she was. So I had to put her in a different daycare. So I would have to put her in a daycare to go to work at a daycare, and was coming out with like $20 on top, because my money, all the money I was making at the daycare was going for paying for her daycare, so, but it was just a part-time job also. The rest of the time I was in class, and I still needed the daycare. And then I would go to my job on the farm, and my baby girl was allowed to be there, and we had a whole little setup for her. It was so cute, y'all. I don't know if it would be the same if it was like, would you feel the same if it was tomatoes I was working with and peas that I was working with, as I would, as my baby just was to the side and having fun, and I kept an eye on her. And we always had Baby Einstein playing. That was like our whole thing back then. Larry and I was Baby Einstein. And yeah, there were rumors going around that the baby was Larry's, which I just found hilarious. I've never tried to stop rumors. They can be whatever they want to be. Why would I waste my time and efforts with trying to repair rumors whenever most rumors are lies anyway? If you're dumb enough to believe a rumor, then I'm sorry, I don't got nothing for you, So, yeah, I don't know, guys. It was kind of crazy. And that first semester of college, I did not get any more scholarships. It just started falling apart. And I wasn't quite sure what to do. Brianna and Mark were my roommates, and tension was just getting so much I couldn't stand it. And, you know, I love Brianna. I love her to death. I love her so much. She's the sweetest, awesomest girl in the world. And so there's no way I could do anything like that to her. And, you know, Mark, he's a good guy. So I decided once I did my finals and I was pretty sure that I failed my finals that I'm just going to take off with my baby girl to Spring City and hang out with my girl Jerica and whatever we can get into, you know, for the Christmas break. And so that's what I did. I took off to Spring City and hung out with Jerica, and, you know, we partied and we also chilled. So it is what it is. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to me today and putting up with me and my animals. I'm sure y'all would rather see my animals than hear my story, but oh well, you're here for my story, not my animals. I'll make other animal videos. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Look at you. So anyways, as always, be blessed with love. That's all she got.